Hey, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zinkers here. What's happening? Surf's up, dude.
Sam Healy, what's up, fellas and girls and everyone else?
All right,
Humans.
well, thank you.
Humans.
Well, we will allow aliens to watch also.
If you're enjoying our show and you happen to be from outer space, please email us. Tom Vassell at...
It's like that Futurama episode where they watched the show, but they were like 20 years behind.
That'd be awesome.
It came out? Okay. Anyhow, this is about kickstarting. And kickstarting last episode, there was few projects comparatively.
Okay.
Life has changed. We are in the midst of Kickstarter season, I think.
Kickstarter storm is brewing.
Kickstarter storm is brewing. All right, well, let's just get started.
Storm's coming.
There's a lot of projects to take a look at. Here we go. So the first one that we're taking a look at here, Puzzle Lock playsets. This is actually not a board gaming thing. This is more of a... Tom likes this kind of stuff thing.
Is this not an RPG thing?
RPG type stuff.
Sure, yeah. Or even miniatures you could play. I like the idea of the locking tiles. I mean, if you have hexagon tiles, you could use those for memoir and battle lore. I mean, you could. No one ever will.
I don't think they have enough made.
I do like that puzzle cave, though. Yeah. I would get that for like Jimmy to play with and just
like
build a cave.
Boy, I know that's awesome.
Although, how much do you think it is? I didn't look at that.
$8,000.
Oh, it's only 40 bucks? Oh, no, these are just the printable files.
Yes.
Roy! Oh, so this is actually...
That's $70 altogether, I think.
This is actually not even... These are just for printable files. I can't believe I missed that.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. All right. Huh? This is not even for the stuff. This is just the printable files.
This, Tom, and then get yourself a 3D printer. So the project is about $500.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, let's get to some board games. Here we go.
What do we got?
Frankenstein, a monster building game.
Oh, they have a quote here from you, so you must have played a previous iteration of this.
Yes, this is actually... It was originally... what was it called? There was two themes. The first one was...
Frankenstein's body or something, that one?
Yeah, it was originally getting body parts and building the thing, and then they changed it to a menorah-themed game.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember this
one. You must have played it because we played this one way back in the day.
Yep.
I like how it looks now. It's a little bit more serious of a monster building, although they sure went with movie Frankenstein.
Oh, no kidding.
I mean, I hope Universal doesn't come after them because that's really...
I don't...
That's Universal's Frankenstein.
It's very on the nose, yes. And the bust even, they include that if you want, or you can buy a painted one, which is, again, cool looking, but very indicative of that movie.
This is a very...
Look at that. I like it,
and I recommend it.
Yeah. No, they did ask me if they could use that. It's a really light game, though, so just keep that in mind. It's like a filler-style game. I'm glad it's coming back. I thought it was interesting that they initially did it as a menorah theme because I thought that the body parts theme worked fine. But so obviously they thought so too. They went back to it.
Cool.
Glenmore 2. Now, as far as I can tell, this is more of Glenmore 1.5.
Yeah, sure. It's Glenmore plus modules.
Oh, okay.
It's basically what it is.
I've never played Glenmore, something that people yell at me all the time about.
Oh, what is wrong with you? This is good. Glenmore is good.
Have you played it?
I have. The original game, yeah.
The original.
That looks way better than the original.
I'm not trolling. In fact, pick of the week.
What?
Are you serious?
Throw it up, son! This is my pick of the week, yeah. Glenmore has been out of print for ages. It's finally coming back. It looks like a well-produced version of it, and it is... If you've always wanted the base game, you never could get it, you can get it, and a bunch of expansions and modules and all that stuff on top of it.
Right, so if you own this, you don't need to get Glenmore. I'm pretty sure.
Correct. This is Glenmore and more. That would have been a better title. That might have been an interesting title.
Glenmore and more. All right. No, this is what I'm looking forward to seeing come out. This seems like one that would be coming sooner rather than later. Yeah, Essen.
All right, cool.
I mean, it says October, but that's like code for Essen.
Yep.
Nerd words. Now,
Science.
when I first saw this, I was like, all right, move on to next. Then I saw it was Genius Games, so I'm back in. Because these guys do make good science games.
Yeah.
So this is their first
It's like the
foray
first
into
real
the party
game, yeah.
It looks good. Their stuff is always super high quality.
That sounded interesting. For someone who is a word game lover, this would be neat. The idea of having to get your team or people to guess what the word you are hiding is, and your clues are one-word clues, but the word that is the clue must begin with a letter included in the one they're attempting to guess.
Which I like because that gives you 2 clues in one.
It's 2 clues in one, right. So that's pretty clever, that's neat, but it's still, I don't know if that's going to be enough, in my opinion, to take away that been there, done that feeling, for me. I also am not necessarily the target for this game because I don't really like word games that much. But
yeah, I do though. As long as they're not too, you don't have to think too hard out of the box.
Yeah.
Here I'm just thinking of clues for fossil that start with S. So I don't know, maybe I would just keep, I might put
you can do
soil.
an O, or you can do an S, you can do an L, you cannot do the F, you cannot do the first letter, is the rule.
But that's also interesting because then I know that the first letter is not a letter I've seen yet.
That's right. So it's also a clue.
All right, cool.
This is for nerds, nerd words.
Martin Wallace's Milito game. This automatically kind of irritates me. They just can't call it Milito. I'm just not a big fan of that, sticking the name of the designer in the name of the game.
Because it's Martin Wallace's Milito as opposed to all the other Militos.
I know.
It's a very popular name. That's why they have to do it.
It's
Milito
a
shows up everywhere.
card-based, diceless war games. This actually sounds like even the look of it, this looks like something Warfrog would have put out back in the day.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it looks a little better, but it looks like it came out in the 90s almost.
Yeah, we were talking about this, and it was just, it's another one of those, there's 3 battlefields on the table, and you have your people fighting against it, and I have my people on my side of the table fighting against yours, and I don't know, it just really has that been there, done that vibe to it.
Maybe we're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that it is a card game as opposed to another sort of the same spin on what Martin Wallace normally does, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the war game aspect. It doesn't really capture me, and while I do like the sort of graphic design on the cards.
Really?
Yeah, I think the graphic design on the cards is pretty good.
It's pretty clean. I mean, it's just the straight symbols.
I guess.
Well, that's pretty good. I don't think it's a game
You know,
I'm
this looks like
necessarily going to like.
This looks like something that John Clodus designed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it has that same look.
I guess his most recent one looks better than that, though.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying the kind of game it looks like that.
It's that kind of game that he's used to making,
Yeah.
Also, Andrew Parks
Yeah.
used to do this kind of thing a lot.
All right, no pun included. Season 3.
Woo!
This one's almost over, actually.
I always
71
want to
hours.
say Zip whenever I see his logo.
Zip.
Ah.
I always want to say Zip.
Got it.
I know it's an N, but it looks like a Z.
Well, these guys are great reviewers and
Mhm.
super great people, too. So they're just... And also, Elaine is really good at improvised singing. Well, I don't know if she improvises.
No, she
plans
wrote
it.
those songs. But she's very talented. They're both fun. They're funny. Yeah, if you have not watched their videos, we certainly recommend you check them out.
All right. Vintage Racers. This is from Mr. B Games. There's a lot of racing games these days.
I kept looking up and down this Kickstarter to figure out who the designer was. I could not spot that.
Oh, it doesn't say?
I couldn't find it anyway.
Huh.
Maybe it's in a... Is there a video? I did not watch the video because I didn't want it to reset. But... Vintage
We'll go
Racers,
to Board Game Geek and see what happens here.
It's
Sean Brown is the one.
From Mr. B. Okay.
Well, then maybe he's just being very...
Coy.
like modest and not saying it's his own game. I guess.
Right, because it's already his company too.
It's a really small looking game.
It's a very
though.
tiny racing game, yeah.
What are they selling it for? $12? No, 13. I don't think I've ever seen text art in the pledge before.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I'm not opposed to a little racing game. If it's small, I'm more willing to take a look, I think, at it because it's just easy to play. And I do like the way those cars look. that's a neat how you put the cards together like
Yeah,
that.
that's cool.
I think
Alright.
a small game from Mr. B could do well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because I know his bigger games, I don't find them as enjoyable in the graphic design department, and sort of like the finalization of the look of everything. But if it's a small deck of cards, he might excel at that, you know?
Yeah.
So this is it from a new company, Overpowered. Custom game mats, any shape, size, and image. So I was actually talking to Mark Street because I believe he did a preview for these, and he said these mats are insanely nice. Like really super high quality. Here is the problem with these is they are not inexpensive at all.
Right.
You're paying for a specific mat. Where are the prices on here? Because it's you basically
You
have to
get
go
your
there
own
and get
custom one, yeah.
you get a quote. So you pick the table. Like we could get one made for this table here and have an exact size one made. That's awesome.
As in, you saw they were a round table. They made one for a round table.
Yeah.
You can get standard mats too, and so this. The only thing I would argue about this particular Kickstarter is it really a Kickstarter?
Well, I think that line has been blurring for a while now.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, because since you are essentially just, it keeps pointing you to the store. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, do you want to back this Kickstarter? Go to our website, see what the price
just
is.
Order it, yeah.
It's almost like this is a sale rather. I know that the lines have been blurred a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. However, I do like how these look. I would like to get one of these.
Yeah, they look.
3 millimeters thick is not small thickness though. That's pretty good.
And
That's good.
that edge stitching, that's now the big thing. It looks fantastic. I've seen, not from this company obviously, but other playmats that have it.
Yeah, I just showed you yesterday one.
They look good.
How does it keep though? Usually,
mean-
when you put stitching on something, rolling it up makes it more
No, it's only on the edges though.
right, but it still makes it less pliable.
I don't roll them up anymore, so I don't know. I hang them.
I could see that being an issue maybe, yeah, and stress on the stitching maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the one I thought was Z's pick of the week, Valley of the Kings Premium. Because I know you really like Valley of the Kings.
I do. This is largely just a collection of what's already been out, whereas Glenmore is not only a game that's really been out of print, but new content.
A couple of good questions about those mats. How does image licensing work? And somebody else said it's not a story yet. It just gives you the price, and then you have to go back and.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know about as far as images go. I mean, I think you're allowed to make something for yourself that is a copyrighted image.
Yeah, but they're producing it and making money off of it. That's where the
Yeah, you are.
discrepancy would lie. You can make it wherever you want, but if you're making it and then selling it to somebody, that might be a problem.
Yeah, but can I go online and, let's say I find a picture of Superman that I want. Can I go to an online Photoshop, have them print out that picture for me?
Didn't you have a conversation like this about some of those ties that you had made for yourself?
Sure, but
You were talking to a publisher, I think.
I think that the most publishers would not care.
Right.
No, that's fine, but we're asking like legalities outside of whether actually someone will come after you.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought that was okay if.
There's got to be
I
some
don't know.
line, like if I take a picture of a copyrighted thing, I can get that developed for sure. I don't know. That's like
You're
a
not
whole
making
subject.
money off of it, though.
No, but the people develop it.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the legal issue is. It's not on your end.
But the people who develop that photo are. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, can they develop a picture
Yeah,
of
like,
copyrighted stuff
You're
that
telling
I've
me if
taken?
I take it to like, I was gonna say Kinko's, but if I take it to
What is
like,
Kinko's?
if I take it somewhere and on a roll of photos, again, this is all old stuff, kids. If some of those pictures are of copyrighted things, do they have to not develop that one still? Yeah.
No, but if you're developing pictures that you've taken, you're not making money on those pictures.
No, the company is selling them to me. If I
They
go
are,
pay them
they are printing
$20
pictures,
to
which
develop
I'm
my
paying
pictures.
them for.
You're paying for the service, though.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
maybe.
paying for the service of them making a playmat.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
either way,
different.
I'm not.
Let's talk about this for the next 15 to 25
Because it's an actual
minutes.
product. It's not just a picture.
All right, this one is
The
sad.
bottom,
it's
baby.
not yet funded, actually. It only has 6
Dinos
days.
Not assembled.
Nah,
This
I
looks
like
cute.
the
It looks
cute
like a kid's
artwork of
game.
this.
It's cute.
I've discovered that cute kid games have a tough time on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just not the right crowd for them.
Nope.
Well, the kids are not backing them, you know what I mean? And
That's true. And kids are probably not surfing Kickstarter and going,
Correct.
Mom, I want this.
Yeah, if it's on the shelf already, then you can do the pointing game, like give me that, I want that. But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, I really like how this one looks. This looks like it'll be a fun game for kids.
I agree.
That seems like a. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm gonna guess it funds. It only needs a few more thousand.
Yeah.
All right. Crave, a strategic deck building card game for 2+ players.
This looks cool. And I was really like, when I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks awesome, but it's like another deck building game. I'm really over deck building games.
Yeah, but there hasn't been too many. Well, Hey, Man vs. Meeples stole your catchphrase. Holy shnikes.
I don't say that.
You don't?
No, if they had said, it looks so good on the flip side, then might be want to talk to them.
Yeah.
The art's okay.
I like the art, actually. I like the art a lot.
No,
I
this-
think
yeah, this
the
does look
layout
good.
of the cards looks good as well. It kind of gives me a Dead of Winter vibe.
Is it done by the same artist?
No, it's not. I don't think so. But, you know, I like that look. But again, deck building, ugh. There's enough of that. How much? You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
A modern fantasy.
Now this, I was laughing about. I showed this to Tom. I scrolled all the way down and I told him, you know, the rest of this project looks really hipstery. Like all the images look very hipstery. Looks very modern. The graphic design, everything. And then they highlight the fact that you can slide 2 cards with numbers along both edges to keep track of your score or your life or whatever. And I'm like, that is so lame.
Woohoo!
So lame. Come up with something better than that, y'all. That was passe the day it came out. Nobody
really annoying
likes
too,
that.
because it's not easy to look at what it is. If you're moving it, I will keep track of it. If I look over at the table at your thing, I'll be like, you have 43. You know what I mean?
I mean, that
What's wrong with dials?
It costs more to create.
Sure, but okay, I know, but they're bragging about it. You can do this.
I got
You
that.
don't brag
that's
about
the
it.
thing, right? Do it, just don't necessarily.
But notice this. The only way to ensure you receive this game is to back it now on Kickstarter.
FOMO engaged.
They're not saying it won't be there.
They're just saying it might
It
not.
might not come out.
guarantees.
It's possible you'll miss it if you don't back it now.
Also, there's no pledge manager, so you need to buy it now if you'd like to play it. Why would you not use a pledge manager? They're so helpful.
Because you got to scare people into backing your project.
Yeah, boo. All right.
That kind of tactic makes me worry some more. Unless again they don't want to pay for a pledge managing system. But
It's the same cost as Kickstarter, essentially.
the only reason I can think of pulling something like that is to scare people into backing your game. That's not a confidence boost. I don't know. Maybe it's amazing. Again, I like the look.
FOMO manipulation.
But it's weird. It says the only way to get this game is to back on the Kickstarter. The environment for games going into retail is cloudy at the moment. Blah, blah, blah. If you're a retail store and would like copies, they come in bundles of 6. You can't do both. You can't be like, it might not be in stores. Oh, by the way, stores, you can buy it and put it in. Come on.
That's great. I love it.
All right. How do you say this?
Pavillon.
We are playing this one live on Friday, so
That's right.
We haven't yet seen it yet, but I will say it's like
Yeah.
super pretty.
I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the gameplay, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's all the 3D. You know, you just put.
I'm curious how all that stuff fits in the box after it's been put together.
It's got some tile laying. It's got a cool theme. It's very pretty.
Flower Carcassonne.
I usually
Wooden garden gnomes.
I
with
usually
sticker
say
sheet.
Stickers is fine.
I usually say, pretty games, or games that look good are more fun to play.
Yes.
So, this might be one of those instances where I wouldn't, although I do like tile laying too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
This looks fun.
Cool.
We will find out more in a couple days.
Flapjacks and Sasquatches.
love that title.
Here's the thing. This is actually
It's an expansion.
I hate Flapjacks and Sasquatches. It's a terrible game, but I put it here because they are still going strong.
I know.
It's close to like 10 years maybe since this game's come out. This is like a Munchkin type thing.
Now, I have a question, though. If you go back to the top there, is this a recent development, or have they always stolen the font from Bang?
Oh, my word.
That's just that font is in.
That's probably.
That's a normal font. That's
I know,
not just.
I'm kidding.
But it's because it's red and on that wooden
Yes.
background. Oh, my goodness. That looks like Bang. I didn't even notice that.
That's funny.
Prolific Games only has 7. I feel like they should have like 50. Yeah, these guys did Hirelings: The Ascent, which is hands down one of the worst games I've ever played. Tricked Out Hero. I can't remember if I played that.
I think I played that one.
I feel like I might have. Anyway, yeah, okay. Enough of that nonsense.
But again, they are still going.
I do like some of the stuff, like the other paperwork. That's funny.
Honestly, this kind of game could now see a resurgence because of the exploding kitten sort of group of people that have gotten into gaming.
I guess, but it's not.
It's not, probably, because it doesn't have that already wide appeal where people recognize it, but it's that style. All right, what do we got?
I also want to point out that it's called Flapjacks and Sasquatches, and neither of those objects are on the cover. There's neither Flapjacks nor Sasquatches there.
Well, that's because Flapjacks and Sasquatches is the original game. The name of the expansion is Companies. I'm sorry.
Okay, there you go. There's Flap. Okay,
Country
You're
Store.
right. You're right. All right, Viking Jarl. Now,
Viking Jarl.
Viking Jarl.
Ooh, you got corrected because it's somebody's pick of the week.
No, it's not his pick of the week. Are you kidding me? I think this one would do better if the cover looked more interesting.
Ooh,
Wow,
you
what's
tell
wrong
that
with the
Viking
cover?
what's what.
Not the picture. The picture's fine. It's that great. I don't know. This looks kind of boring.
I think the
Sam
cover
thinks it looks amazing. Viking-y.
I think the cover's fine.
Also, the board looks like. This looks like that other game that you go like that.
Fire and
Viking.
Axe.
Fire and Axe.
Yep.
Doesn't it look like Fire and Axe?
It does.
It does have a very similar look to it, yes.
I mean, even the boards, the player boards with the ships in front of them. What are those called?
I have this sitting at home. I have not yet played it yet. It's been.
Well, you have this already?
What else
No,
have these
when did
guys
you
back
done?
it?
It's a
You're a beast.
prototype.
Oh, the last time it didn't fund. It only got 57%.
That's the one that Sam got.
It will likely fund now because there's 7 days. I think they'll get their
Yeah, they've
backing.
only got $5,000 to go. I think they're.
Look.
Your top 10 anticipated game of
was.
2018.
Yeah.
I love that. You shouldn't advertise that though, right?
Why not?
Why not?
It's like this was anticipated in 2018, but did not come out then.
No, it's okay. I think that
That's
builds
happened- that's happened more than once.
more
Oh,
hype.
sure it happens. I just don't know that I would advertise it.
Nah.
Sam Healy, man. If Sam Healy says anything about your game, you put it on the Kickstarter. Anything.
No, I don't know about
I
that.
was dissuaded, Sam Healy. Back it.
All right, moving on. Wormwood tabletop tiles. Now these look awesome.
Didn't we
and-
already talk about these ones?
I feel like we did. Maybe we talked about something else. But
Yeah, maybe.
I would be way more excited about these if I got the last ones.
Oh,
I still haven't got them yet. I must have backed that.
You backed them and haven't gotten.
I backed that before we were in the studio. I know that. I backed them when we were back at my house.
Wow, that's a long time.
The square ones, and they're magnet put together.
Oh, that's right, that's
and I get an
right.
update every once in a while. They're like, "We're shipping out 50 more." Is mine included in there? I guess not.
Boy,
you know.
okay. So that's years, many years for you to get these, possibly.
They look neat though, and I know that these guys use really good magnets because these guys do fantastic work.
Yes.
So these look fantastic, but I would be very wary of how long it takes to get the stuff. This says
I'll be
October
the-
2019. What do you mean October 2019? I want my stuff by October 2019 from the last one.
I will say this. I'll be the devil's advocate here. Well, not even. I actually think this.
That's good.
Well, I like the wood in these. I've seen some of them at their shows and so
They look
forth.
like animal tracks.
And I like the magnets. These tiles, these trays are simply too small. They're pointless. I think that many of these are pointless. Look at that tile with 3 holes in it.
Oh no, that I agree on. I would only get the one that.
That's so
With the
silly.
one spot,
even
right?
the one that's split
Not
down the middle.
necessarily.
There
It
are
depends on what
4 little tiles, bags there. I've seen those, the Stonemeyer ones.
It could be what you're trying to get them for. That looks like it's a player's tableau.
Yeah, like if you have your own, I
you
guess.
have your own set in front of you, and you're not going to have a whole.
Do you like the cards?
No, it holds like 2, 3 cards visibly next to one another. I think that it looks cool, and it's not very functional.
Well, I didn't back this one for 2 reasons. One,
Well,
because I haven't
we know.
delivered the first
Yeah.
one. But 2, because I think the squares work better on a table. I can have a little square area. Hexagonal means I'm going to have areas that are like jagged out. I think these look amazing, but and there's no way I'm using that to roll a die. going to bounce out of that.
That is too small.
They're too small for my.
I do like the tile of shame though. Put the die in.
Silly. That's silly, but it's cute. I don't know if I would pay $30 for a joke.
Oh, what is that?
That's for scoring, I think.
Yeah.
Caster tile?
For board gamers, for role players.
Oh no, that's for keeping your mana, I think, or like a tracker, something like that.
Seems like I
Again,
BBs on
I think
it.
these guys are amazing in their craftsmanship. I don't like these.
Age of Civilization. Now this one, I'm amazed at how much money this is making.
Well, this is a reprint, I think, of something that's already been out. Something.
Let's see what these guys have done. Oh, they did a game based on me. Samurai Vassal. Okay, but anyhow, this is another one where if I saw this box on a shelf, I'd go, and I wouldn't even pick it up. It looks
I'm
boring.
pretty sure I've seen that game, and that game is a reprint.
It's a pocket game too. That's even more so.
That's a big pocket, by the way. If that dude's hand, I'm assuming, is normal size. You got them cargo shorts on.
Yeah.
Not only that though, that size game for 36 feels like it's not.
It's
Now they're probably.
27.
Oh, it's Canadian.
27. That's not so bad then. But I bet you the box is like jammed full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's so many good reviews on this. It must be an amazing game.
Yeah, but it's for some people. I mean, for me, when you say Civilization game in a pocket-sized box, I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. Because it's going to be fiddly. It's going to have a lot of cards.
Then you got to play stupid Tetris to get all the stuff in.
It looks like it, huh?
Why do you, this is not fun. Maybe some people like this. Every time you put the game away, you're like, all right, layer 1, layer 2. It just takes so much time.
Seems like
Just make the box a little bigger.
Look at that. There's a ton in there.
Yep.
No one's carrying this in their pocket anyway, as you
man.
point out.
You're about to get an email
Somebody's
in
got
about
it
2
in a
minutes.
Ziploc bag in their
Wow, they
pocket
did.
right now.
I will say though that this unlocking all these cultures makes me go like, ooh, just need to
that's
see
pretty
all
cool.
those cultures.
That would be cool too, yeah.
A lot of wonders. They've unlocked more
That's
wonders. Cool. A playmat, which again, if they just put the box in a normal. Okay, anyway, I'll get started on this. You want a statue? Want maple stickers? Sam does. A gilded game box.
Ooh.
You're literally paying extra money
For just
to make
building on the letters.
Yeah, man. Who doesn't want that?
I don't.
All right,
Chewy. All right, what's next?
WrestleNomicon. Are you ready to Cthulhu?
I could have swore this was going to be your pick of the week.
Why? No, it looks hilarious.
I do love that the guy's using the Eiffel Tower as a club. That's awesome.
This looks pretty ridiculous.
It's
looks
probably
like
a bad game.
It looks like the card game is one of those, what's that game called? Battle line kind of layouts where like the two monsters fight next to each other, that kind of thing. I like the idea and the theme is ridiculous. The card layout actually looks pretty good, but I'm assuming it's some sort of take-that game.
Yeah, it looks a little too marquee.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. I think
I'm not normally a big fan of Cthulhu, but this one makes me laugh. Yeah. I want to play with the WrestleNomicon.
I would try this. You know what I mean? I would definitely play this. WrestleNomicon, yes.
Now, some of the artwork's a little, but come on now. Cthulhu doing math problems. The King in Yellow. Okay, anyway.
I think it's awesome.
Have these guys done any other games? Arc Dream. Oh, they've done a lot, actually. We have No Soul Left Behind. Puppet. No, nothing.
I haven't played any of those.
I'm assuming most of the stuff's RPG.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
I'm all over it.
Fuji Koro Deluxe. Game Brewer is they're really coming into their own. A lot of their stuff they do in conjunction with TMG.
Mm-hmm.
Chimera Station. Gugong is really popular right now.
That was a good game too.
So this is the deluxe version. Again, it feels almost like they're working almost hand in hand. This looks like they have a deluxe version. It almost feels like TMG is going to either helping them or working with them somehow.
I thought it was funny when you go down a little bit, they're showing you the deluxe images, deluxe monsters, and then eventually you make it down here and they're like, deluxe one, and then like, is this the normal one? Because they make that comparison seem hilarious to me. They're like, the deluxe game! We're also producing a garbage one nobody wants. Deluxe! Get these big monsters!
It looks really cool, though.
Oh, it looks amazing.
This was one I considered for pick of the week because this looks neat. I don't know if the game's any good, and it almost feels like there might be too much stuff in the box.
Yeah. I like the style of the
so weird that we complain about that these days. We didn't ever used to. We never used to say that.
First world problems.
Oh, I know.
Like too much
ridiculous,
stuff.
Yeah, but the I like the monsters in there.
I like the cubes.
Where are they? Did we pass them already?
We already went by the sacred temples.
Just the way that they were stylized, I really liked it. I like the way they're constructed. You know what I mean? That looks really cool. And then the tile laying. It looks like a fun game.
It does. It looks like it's really fun.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
But the one thing that would scare me off on this one is the price itself.
Yeah, it's like 100 and what
the deluxe one is 98 euros, which is 110 bucks. That's
actually, I thought farther down it was like 180 or
if you want to play, Matt, it's 130.
Oh, okay, there we go.
And then if you it's the deluxe.
Where was it? I know I saw something.
There was something here that said, what's in the box?
MSRP is 180, they're saying.
Yeah, and that's kind of, again, that's that whole FOMO thing, right? Like, get it now, it's going to be 180. It's not going to be 180.
That's the MSRP. Whoever is selling it to you will also discount it if you don't get it now. But, you know, feel free to get it.
Well, they probably won't discount it down to 98.
No, probably not. Can you scroll to here a little bit?
You want to look at those monsters?
Yeah, I like the way the monsters look. Just the flat, like they look animated. You know what I mean? They don't look like
stuff slides in.
Photorealistic. I like the flat chest on that dragon, the white dragon there. They look like a cartoon that you then 3D render. I like that a lot.
I'm cool with it.
They retain the style of the game.
Plunderburn, the back alley business board game. Ugh. Really? This one looks exciting to me, actually.
Okay, I was completely in on it. I read Mark Street's quote about this is like a where is it? It's down there. A strategic deck building game with interesting elements demanding demand fulfillment and area control where Al Capone would have been a troll. Okay, that sounds cool.
Yes.
That sounds cool. Now I'll go look at their upgrades for the miniatures.
Oh, I did not. Well, here's the thing. I'm happy with no miniatures. I'm happy with the wooden pieces.
I'm okay with those meeples, but look at these upgrades for the miniatures.
Oh, like you don't like that little nose?
Are you kidding me?
I actually thought these were
like
cute.
Those little things that you buy that the Farmer Joe that you sit him in his little track thing.
The little people?
Yeah, the play school entertainment stuff. That's what that looks like. That's horrible. They should have been shot at dawn for, not really, that's hyperbolic, but you know, come on. I mean.
Oh, more!
It doesn't even look like the rest of the game.
All right, well, in case this shows up at our place.
I
won't show you those.
I think the game looks interesting. I just don't agree with the design of the not even miniatures.
The style of those.
The pawns that you're going to be using. Ugh.
All right, but you don't have to upgrade to those. You could just get the meeples.
Yeah, but even the meeples don't really. I mean, those agents.
They don't look like they're fantasy.
Correct.
But I don't know.
If you look at the corner of the box,
looks cool. I like the board.
If you look at the corner of the box, there's that little agent guy. It looks like some guy out of a noir, whodunit film.
Yeah, but noir fantasy is something that attracts me. I like that concept.
Yeah.
Actually, noir anything right now works for me.
I think it looks pretty good. I like it. Yeah, I like the board. I like the look. I like the cover. I like that it's. You know what it is? It feels new, and by that I mean like not new, but like I cannot immediately think of, oh, this makes me think of that other game, a film noir fantasy. You know what I mean? Like nothing else immediately goes to mind. Like, oh, it's a miniatures game. Oh, it's a deck building game.
It made me think of Bright. Right
yeah, which is a movie though.
Except it's looks a little
I'm talking
slightly
about, like,
cheerful.
Board
slightly
game.
What?
Slightly more cheerful than that movie.
Bright, yeah, maybe.
I think that's cool. I think that a board game exploring a theme that isn't immediately apparent in other board games anyway. Yeah.
All right. Tantrum House Board Game Media. These guys do a segment on Board Game Breakfast occasionally, so we thought we'd point it out. Also, they got a lot of promos, although... No, these are games. Sorry. No, they have promos down here. Yep. Lots of promos.
Wow, that is a lot.
All right.
They are good people.
Also good hats. Hammer of the Scots.
Hammer of the Scots.
Now, this is not a new game by any means
or
fashion.
Brand new production.
Deluxe edition of Hammer of the Scots.
It says top 50 war game on Board Game Geek. No, this was, I remember when I was first getting into gaming and people were like, oh, you want to get block war gaming? Hammer of the Scots. It was always Hammer the Scots. That was the block war game.
Right.
I've since played a block war game. I can see why people like them. They're fairly light. Like, they're not much higher than, say, Memoir 44. I mean, complexity-wise. They're not, because there's only a few pieces.
The commands and colors system, you know.
Right.
Agents.
I just don't, they're okay for me. But, again.
This is a classic. If someone is a war gamer and doesn't have this, clearly now, I guess, is the time to jump into it.
Sure.
You be quiet, Jim.
What do you say? Oh. Oh.
What did
Crumbs!
They say? Not a...
I like Crumbs. This one I thought was interesting just because I like the way it looks. I like how there's all those wooden pieces there in that fence thing.
I believe I heard Zunya saying the same thing.
I did?
Squirrels versus
I
ducks
don't remember
versus...
what I said.
Squirrels versus ducks versus pigeons versus... Is that chipmunks, I guess?
Chipmunks.
Squirrels.
I think squirrels are orange. And chipmunks are brown.
Okay.
And then that's a ducky. And
The ducks are out, man. Squirrels will take those ducks out. Look at those ducks. They look like morons.
They look like they're...
Oh, the pigeons look like morons. The squirrels, those guys need to stop smoking.
Squirrels?
No, I think the scariest ones are the ones up one up. Those
pigeons?
pigeons look terrifying.
The eyeballs.
They're like, we'll get you.
We're coming.
You can't hide in no trees, squirrel.
But it looks like...
They're doing a component drop, apparently.
Yes!
That's what you like? The
You drop-
total chaos?
No, yes, I do like that sort of thing.
Taking out one
You know
of
what it
the
reminds me of?
chipmunks.
Is Rattle Battle Hold the Loot type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully a light game. Because that should...
Cage match. Look at that.
Yeah, it is.
I want it.
All right. It looks
Crumbs.
hilarious.
All right. Next. Rome. This is from Ryan Lockett, so it's automatically good. Next. But this is
It
actually...
looks like a lighter game from
It's
him.
a small game for sure.
Yeah.
It looks very similar. It looks like a halfway between Ancient World and Near and Far. The way I mean, he's reusing his artwork, not reusing it, but
Reusing his characters, I think, is the
and it's in the
idea.
same universe as
Right.
everything
Yeah,
else.
but this, I don't know. This is, I was saying earlier, this looks like you're using the components from another one of his games for this game. And I don't know. I don't know. I like his artwork, don't get me wrong, but it's just...
I think Sam's saying that Ryan Lockett has jumped the shark.
No!
That's what
I'm not
he's
saying he's
suggesting.
jumped the
I want
shark.
some metal frog coins.
I just think, I don't know.
Yeah, see, Haven looked different. The last game,
Yeah,
Haven
that's
looked
what I'm
different.
saying.
Yeah.
It's just the last 3 games that he's come out with have all had very similar looks.
I tend to
them.
like his stuff, but I kind of agree that this is the first one that I have looked at and thought, haven't I seen this one already? It's not bad necessarily, and I think the next game he's got coming out, Sleeping Gods, is going to be a mega game.
Yeah.
But this feels like marking time a little bit. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's got big projects will slip a small one in between those
Right.
big projects. This feels like that.
Sure, but I mean, 100,000 for
Oh,
a small
no,
project
no,
is
it's-
fine.
That's how it's good.
No, yeah.
He's a good designer.
Yeah, his stuff is good.
I've
Volleyball
played
High.
this. I swear I've played this.
I believe 24 hours ago you played this. Volleyball High. This is a 2 or 4 player game. There's a Dice Tower showdown. Who takes the state championship home? Well, you got to find out.
You gotta go watch it if you want to
I'll
find
tell
out.
you.
Where does Warriors come from? I don't remember that.
No, they're the Spartans, man.
Those are the guys that come and take his troops away.
Yes. If we
Yeah, that mat looks good. We played on very pro today when you see it. So, volleyball style game, and I would say that it had a very volleyball feel to it for sure. All right, next, Blood on the Clocktower. I heard that Shut Up and Sit Down likes this game.
Blood is on the Clocktower.
So here's the thing.
Kind of a social deduction game, right?
Sure, but when I was like going through Kickstarters a couple weeks ago, I guess when this launched or whatever, and I saw this, I didn't even look at it. I just skipped right by it because that cover looks like something you buy at the occult store.
Well, there's not a Clocktower on it. That's for sure.
That's true, but it also
And
doesn't tell me anything
There's
about
also
what
not
the
any
game.
blood on the thing either.
And then when I went looked, then someone said something like a bluffing game, and I was like, oh,
Like no other.
sure. They all say that.
Of course they do.
But again,
But you can be
definitely Shut Up and
poisoned
Sit
and
Down.
you can go
And that
mad.
box looks humongous for
What
what
is
you get.
that for?
That's like for the moderator. They walk around and there's like felt, and you can stick the pieces to it, and they do different things.
Huh.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it kind of looks like a werewolf style game.
When you it said, what did the reviewers say? I thought it said, what did the what the revilers say?
Now, again, people are raving about it, the ones who play. Not everyone is raving about it, but a lot of people are. The problem is it is a big, expensive werewolf-style game.
Right.
And those, but I mean, it's working. I mean, it's at the
It's
400,000.
doing well, right?
Yeah. It wasn't at
There's
400.
got to be something there, but I'm not seeing it from just the Kickstarter. It's maybe one of those you got to play it to get it things.
The only problem, again, with playing it, though, is I think you need like 8 people.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a harder
You
one to
have
get
to
to the
have
table. Well, I think there's like variants, but it's meant for bigger groups.
Got it.
Is there a solo mode?
Next is Carnival Zombies 2nd Edition, which has the Dice Tower Seal of Excellence.
I've played this too. Well, not
You
this
have,
one,
and
first
This
edition.
is your pick
This
of the
is
week.
my pick of the
Yeah.
week, yes.
You love carnivals and zombies.
You know,
It's a smash.
I will say when this first showed up, I looked at it and I was like, nope, not interested at all.
Back when the original one
Yeah.
came out, yeah.
It definitely had a very creepy vibe to it. I mean, it
Oh,
was
the
like,
cover is. This one's still a weird cover, but
yeah,
the original one has
it's a lot
a real
more tame
creepy
than the
cover.
other
Yeah,
one
yeah.
was.
You know what it is? It's the same thing that there's a certain thing in games I like, and that whole as people are coming at you, I love,
Looks
and
like
that's
you
what
and
this
Mark
is.
compared notes for quotes too, by the way.
Well, mine was written way back when the game came out.
Right.
So, yeah. Now, what's weird about the zombie game too is it didn't even come with zombie pieces. It comes with cubes and cones. I think they might be. The new bosses have stand-ups, which I'm glad.
No, I think there's. Oh no, the heroes have miniatures and the bosses are standees.
That's fine because they usually just be cones, and then you would look at the card to see what they were.
Right.
But the way this game works is you're just traveling through city, and every time you stop, you got to sit there with a wave of zombies, and it seems you just got to survive.
Yep.
But they give you some decent weaponry to deal with it. For some reason, you guys are walking around with
Do they still have
an arsenal of guns.
Do they still have the pile of corpses or whatever it was called?
I hope so, because that was such a. You didn't like that, right?
No, I don't remember the game very well. I remember it feeling very different though. At the time, I thought, "Wow, this is unique. This feels different." But no, I did not like that. The idea of like having a cardboard tile where you put the dead bodies, the cubes, but you would drop them off from a few inches up off the table, I think.
Yeah.
And if they spilled over,
They come
they
back
would
to
like
the
they would come
It's
back.
still there, baby.
still there.
Deterministic
Very
combat
cool.
with a dexterity twist.
right.
Drop well, or they will live again. Because it's really annoying. Because
That's an awesome quote. That's awesome.
It's not hard to do it at first, but then a couple fall off, and you're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yes. It's a cool system for sure.
Yeah, I really like this game, and it looks a lot better than the first one did. I don't remember this. Survivors? Oh yeah, that's right. Survivors. I guess they gave pictures now. Yeah, I'm really pumped about this. Looking forward to it. It's taken them a long time to get this one out. They were talking about bringing out the 2nd edition of it years ago.
Yeah.
So, all right, then Folklore, The Fall of the Spire. I have Folklore sitting on the shelf right over there, The Affliction. I still need to get that one to the table.
Yeah.
That one, that one funded hugely before.
And this is a sequel.
This is, I think, a sequel / an expansion.
Combo, yeah.
Yeah, you can get everything. I think I went in here and, like, if you want everything, it's like $369. But you get everything. And 339 people did that.
You haven't played it yet, right?
I have not. It's very high on my list.
That dude is like out of place. That dude needs to like go hide in the
Go
corner
back and help
somewhere.
Captain America fight the Nazis.
It's exactly what he looks like.
No, I think he's awesome. I think he looks very cool. I haven't really looked at the original game. Is it co-op?
I don't remember. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would say us at the very top. I know we should know more about this game. And
Oh,
it's
wait,
It
go
did
back.
say cooperative.
a cooperative solo adventure. Solo.
That's it. I'm playing it. I'm backing this. How much I want?
More than you
Alrighty.
can
Well, that
possibly
is
More
want.
than I
the
can afford.
that is the Kickstarters of the week.
No, it's not.
Oh wait, we got one more.
Wait,
Silky.
why would this? Why was
didn't-
it important to highlight this one at the end?
I have no idea.
I just moved it to the end. I moved the big ones to the end. Look at that. It's going up as we speak.
No, I'm saying is it someone's like pick of the week or something?
Come on. You know you didn't even hesitate when you picked this for pick of the week.
This is true.
Roll it!
Yeah, this is definitely my pick of the week. This
You've
is an
played
amazing
this.
game.
You've never mentioned it.
I've played it a lot, actually.
It's almost $500,000, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 140 minis.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but it did get a lot of...
Gameplay is very good.
It got
as
a lot
well.
of love before the minis were there.
It did. I jest.
All right, let's pick a faction here.
Okay, go
Cyber
ahead.
Samurai.
I'm in.
That looks pretty cool. The Boar Lords.
I'm sticking with the samurai so far, but the piggies look cool.
I like the piggies better, I think.
Okay, fine. I'm samurai.
I think that's Nomads.
Nomads are humans.
Ugh.
Boring.
Get 'em outta here.
Oh, wait. Oh, those guys have nice hats, though.
Oh, okay, fine. Nomads for you.
Dark Seed.
These
They're
are bugs.
Filthy.
Oh, Scorpions!
I'll take the scorpions.
The Oni.
Those
These are like spirits.
It's not a faction. Those are it's the faction on the board that everybody controls at some point.
And then
Look at all
Kickstarter
that.
exclusives.
Yeah.
That's the one
Mascots.
cool thing about this game is that nothing in it feels generic.
It's because it isn't.
That's what I like, though. It's not like orcs and elves and other
Wait,
stuff
we got more
that J.R.R.
factions.
Tolkien wrote about.
These
and
are expansion
discarded.
factions. Yeah.
Children of the Lion.
I mean, all this stuff looks insanely
This is
different.
This is strange too because the Conf group was actually part of the original, the core set in the original one. So it's strange.
Fireborn.
Fireborn
Look
was
at
part of the
this stuff.
expansion.
Look,
I love this.
whales.
There's
a
whales.
whale
Lords of the
faction.
Lost Sea. Yeah,
Dude, it
they're
looks great.
Mobile on land now.
Oh, plastic token upgrades.
Yep.
500. Will it hit it?
Oh,
I
yes.
don't
Oh!
Am I nearly there?
No, it's still like 40,000 to go and only 52 hours left, man. But look at all these stretch goals that they hit already. What is Tsukiyomi? Here's the thing. When I remember when this was first on Kickstarter, it was just a neat concept.
Yes.
Like part of the moon blew up.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got to survive and
You're
stuff.
right. Yeah, no, it's great. It has a lot of really, it's asymmetric, which is cool. But the way that you choose how you do your action cards, there's not one singular action card that is replicated within the deck.
What?
That's cool.
The first review, Samuel Heaton.
Oh, somebody likes it.
Oh, this is a very cool game.
Yeah.
It's your number 36 of all time.
Yep.
You're so cool. Look at that cool quote.
That only works on a gamer, though.
Yeah.
Like, if someone comes to me and like, this is my 36th favorite board game, and you don't know anything about board games, you'd be like,
You rank your games?
I
first of
know,
all, they'd be like, that's pretty low, isn't it? I've only ever played 5.
36 is pretty low if you've only
Yeah.
played a few games, yes.
All right, cool. Well, now we are at the end of the list. And so, whew, that was a lot. Let's go to our contributors.
Cool.
Hey folks, and welcome to another FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now, and maybe I have a fear of missing out on it, maybe you do too, and we'll go ahead and take a look together. Now this one is a little special to me because one of the first games I ever got to playtest, and I actually still have the shirt that says official playtester, was Evolution from North Star Games. Well, today I'm going to look at another game in that series called Oceans. In Oceans, players are helping to create an ecosystem of different species that exist beneath the water's surface. At the end, the player with the most points wins the game. Every species in Oceans lives in the same environment, so the leftmost species of each player is adjacent to the rightmost species of the next player. Players will take turns in clockwise order, and on their turn they complete 5 steps. Play cards, feeding, aging, extinction, and finally draw cards. Playing a card allows a player to play a single card from their hand to create a new species, evolve an existing species, or even discard to migrate populations from one part of the ocean to another. During the feeding step, the player chooses one of their species to take a feeding action, either by foraging from the reef or attacking another species in the ecosystem. In the aging step, one population is lost from each of the player's species, and it's moved into the player's score bag. In the extinction, any species that the player has that's been reduced to 0 population is removed from the ecosystem. Finally, the player draws cards. They may, if they wish, acquire up to 1 deep card, as well as discard any number of cards from their hand before drawing surface cards back to their hand limit of 7. Surface cards display what traits and abilities a species has, and deep cards are either traits or events. Players may not play deep cards from their hand until the Cambrian explosion takes place, but they may draw and hold these cards. The Cambrian explosion only takes place once an area of the ocean containing a scenario card no longer contains any population. This activates the scenario card's effect and triggers the Cambrian explosion. Players may now play deep cards, paying the printed cost, and also now get to play 2 cards on their turn. The end of the game is triggered if on a player's turn a species gains population, but the ocean pile is empty. The player takes population from the reserve and completes their turn. The other players at the table gain 1 bonus token for each of their remaining species. Each player also gets a bonus number of points equal to their player order. Add up the number of points gained at the end and the tokens in each player's bag, and the player with the most points is the winner. Okay, so that is an overview of Oceans, an evolution game. A few things I want to point out real quick is that was a prototype copy that Northstar was kind enough to send over to me. As such, it's not the final components. I've seen some of where they're going with that. It looks gorgeous, but just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if all the art's done or not. I really did like the art in this. Second thing is, I didn't cover all of the rules, and honestly, there's, again, not enough time, but also the simple fact that if you're already a fan of Evolution, you already know how to play it, you can pick this up really quickly by just adding in a few things. So the next question, and it's a question I had about the game I covered last time, was, if I already own Evolution and I already own any of the other games in there, is there a reason for this game? Beyond just the completionist owning everything in a series. Absolutely. This game, it kind of feels more peaceful because of the theme, but it also feels a little more chaotic. Well, maybe chaotic's not the word, just more strategic for me. I really like the addition of that whole changeover partially through the game. I like the scenarios. I love those deep cards. I just love what this game brings. I especially love the ebb and flow of the populations through the oceans. I still love the familiar feeling of how the species evolve and how I work those traits, and I'm really trying to find ways to work off of my opponent's cards as well. So overall, this is going to be my scores on the game. I'm really looking forward to getting the final copy of this one. If this one interests you, go ahead and check out their crowdfunding page. It's still going on, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
Sister Meeple here, let's get to the upcoming Kickstarters.
April 16th. In the Turmoil expansion for Terraforming Mars, players jockey for dominance in the political arena. Terraforming Mars already has a lot of expansions, and this may well be the heaviest. It includes 2 new boards, the Terraforming Committee Board and the Global Event Board, as well as some interesting new corporations. Those who've tried the expansion say it adds about 15 minutes to the gameplay, but it is well worth it. Anachrony Fractures of Time brings the Path of Unity to the popular time-traveling worker placement game by David Turksey. In Fractures of Time, players gain access to a powerful new technology called Flux. Promotional literature promises a deluxe edition of the base game, a redesigned solo mode compatible with the expansion, a new worker type, new game mechanics, buildings, super projects, and more. Play a space pirate in Folding Space, designed by Alan R. Moon and Bobby West, and illustrated by Vincent Dutré. In Folding Space, you will pillage resources, acquire treasure maps, and battle your rivals on a modular tile map. This game features a novel folding action board that enables all players to give orders to their crew simultaneously. Last, for April 16th, Surf and Meeple is bringing us a reprint of Giant Takanoko. Unfortunately, it is only for the United States due to licensing restrictions. You will be able to acquire the giant versions of Takanoko and Takanoko Chibis, as well as add-ons for deluxe components for the base game. They promise a great price and some surprise sculpts. Dare I hope for baby pandas? April 18th. Launching just 2 days after all of that Kickstarter goodness, we have On Mars by Vital Lacerda of Lisboa and the Gallerist fame. In On Mars, you want to develop the biggest, most advanced, and most self-sufficient colony on Mars, achieving the Dome mission goals as well as your company's hidden agenda. Action selection and area control combine with resource management to create heavy but rewarding gameplay. That's it for mid-April. For a more in-depth look at these games after they launch, check out the Sister Meeple YouTube channel.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at several new games as well as a game accessory, all while trying to avoid any pesky zombies. All right, let's jump right in. So the first game we're going to be taking a look at is Dungeonology: The Expedition. This is a really unique little dungeon crawl with amazing artwork, and you're going to be playing the role of a scholar, not going after necessarily to wipe out creatures, but to learn, to fact find about mythical civilizations and complete your thesis and be the ultimate scholar. This one is a very unique dungeon crawl theme to it. Definitely worth checking out. Next up, we have Papillon. This is all about area control, but you're using butterflies. Just an incredibly beautiful game with 3D flowers where you're putting your butterflies on those particular bushes in order to gain control and get the most points at the end of the game. You're also building out gardens to gain even more points. So there's a lot going on in this game, and it really is a point salad, but beautiful, beautiful game. Next up, we've got Carnival Zombie 2nd Edition. This game is all about survival. As you'd expect, the zombies expect to need to come out of this forest in just a minute. However, you're trying to escape the city, and this is a brand new version of the game with updated maps, beautiful new pieces, just fantastic. If you're a fan of the original, this new edition streamlines some things and really adds a lot. So you definitely should check it out. Next up, we have Plunderbund. Plunderbund is all about selling your goods, illegal goods in the city known as the Sprawl. You're going to be using your guild of spy masters, racketeers, and agents to help you achieve and be the ultimate boss of the Sprawl. And next up, we have Overpowered Mats. Not really a game, but a game accessory. And the cool thing here is they're custom mats. Not just custom mats for cards or games, but for your whole game table. And they do all kinds of custom sizes. So if you have a table in the shape of a dragon, they can customize your mat to fit that. So there's a lot of neat things here. They did a great job on my custom mat for my table, and it's just some beautiful stuff they put together here. All right, so something new I'm going to do with these recaps is I'm going to give my pick of the week. So this one was really hard for me actually, because I am a big fan of Carnival Zombie. It's just so good, but I have to give it up to Dungeonology for such a unique take on that dungeon crawl experience. So this is definitely one to check out. All right, so that's just a small glimpse into some of the Dice Tower previews we've been working on as of late. If any of these games that we featured here look of interest to you, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, I'm gonna get out of here before the zombies show up. So until next time, we'll see you at the table. Later all.
I hope Mark's okay there.
I know. I think he's about to get grabbed by a zombie.
That's a Walking Dead app on his phone.
Is he?
Almost positive. He's filming on his phone.
Dude, if I was on the phone and you do a selfie and you see a guy come behind you,
man.
No wonder Mark's thin.
That's hilarious.
All right, so quick update to our thing we just did. I may have ranted about something that wasn't quite true, as Roy told me. So Wormwood tabletop tiles, which look cool. We all are such fans, you know, they look cool, but they might be too small.
Right.
The ones I'm waiting for are coming from Dogmite, not from Wormwood. So these are definitely a competition to the Dogmite ones, but there you go.
Mistakes were made. Tom's retracting.
I don't know which one to recommend though, because the Dogwood ones look cool. I think they're better, the square ones, but they also take a long time to get to you. Dogmite. Dogwood, that's a combo.
Dogword and Wormmite.
Wormmite would be a terrible name. All right, let's go to the Tom things. All right, real briefly.
What are we talking about?
Well, cool. We're like already an hour into the show. So real quick. I noticed that there's not a whole lot of Kickstarters in March.
Okay.
And there's more Kickstarters that are happening now. People like to launch Kickstarters during Gen Con. They like to launch Kickstarters during a convention, because you come to convention, you play the game. They're like, hey, you like it? I got a computer for you right here. You can back it. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think there's a time of year that you're more inclined to look at Kickstarters? Do you think like now's a better time because people are getting their income tax refunds?
You're asking me?
I'm asking both of you.
No.
Do you think now is the time because everybody's getting tax refunds?
No, I don't know. I'm just picking random.
No, I don't know, because you don't know when you're gonna get the thing. Like, for example, you know, the holiday season's a better time to release video games, because you'll probably buy yourself or someone you want to give a gift to a video game, but you get it when you buy it.
Yeah, but no, I'm like, here's your Christmas present. You open it. Pledge coming 2021.
Yeah, well, sure. You know, they did that back in the day when they made the first Star Wars toys.
Really?
Yeah. When they made the very first Star Wars action figures, the company needed to put them out during the Christmas season, and they could not produce them. So they sold an empty box with a promissory note that they would be the first people to get the toys.
Wow.
And they sold.
That's the Kickstarter OG.
Kickstarter OG, son. So no, I don't think there's any specifically a time of the year that I'm personally more inclined, because I don't know when I'll get it. I mean, they say when I'll get it, but who knows?
Well, let's see what the people here say. Okay.
Well, people are like saying tax refund.
I apologize.
What is that?
I apologize.
What is that,
I even
refund?
mentioned tax refund because
Here we go.
People are getting onto that. Okay, so like, what time is there a time of year that you are more inclined in the lazy summer, in the Christmas season, after Christmas? Maybe you got some Christmas gift after your
Sunday
annual
mornings.
bonus. No, I'm very specifically not talking about days of the week.
Tuesday nights are scary.
All right. Anyhow,
I don't know.
let's see what people said here. Everyone's talking about tax refunds. February was busy, down in March. April, May are ramping up. I agree. March was a down month for me for Kickstarter, but April is already like, wah. We were just talking that all these Kickstarters we just talked about, that's a space of 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. If all those games came out in 2 weeks, we would not be able to play them all.
Right, correct.
Correct. But all of these aren't games.
So don't you think that is driven probably by production then? You know, Chinese New Year affecting things, for example, with production in China. For many of these, that's where they get made.
Because they get those
that might be a big part of when these things go up. But again, what you're asking is a very different thing. You're asking when are people inclined to back them?
Right. So Fred here says, no, Fred said, oh no, never mind. Stop talking about refunds.
Said Fred, what?
Sam says, not this Sam, end of the year is my Kickstarter temptation time.
Okay.
All right. And everyone else is still talking about refunds, and I apologize again for bringing that up.
It's your fault. You did that.
I'm curious, what time of year? Sorry, I mentioned taxes at all. It's been on my mind lately.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Jim says, I wish they'd spread them out more. Yeah, but I don't think they care about they're not like doing it to help you. They're doing it the best time for them.
Right.
But I think part of it is, I mean, you don't think that comes into their minds at all when they're planning? They do some research and try to find out when other people are planning theirs so that they don't coincide. Like, there were a couple, like last month, there was a couple of those spacey 4X style games, and both of them were coming out at the same time. And I heard from, no, there were like 2 or 3 of them. And I heard from 2 of the other ones that they were kind of, they were sorry, not really sorry, that's just the word it's coming to mind right now. They wish they had known.
Correct.
That those other 2 were coming out so that they would have waited.
But those things aren't really public information is the problem.
I know. But we do have a pretty close-knit
I still think people don't necessarily want to
Games
share when something like that is coming out.
Sometimes they'll do that, and I've definitely heard publishers go, we launched the same day as, a Command project.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you know you will be doing so, then hopefully you have enough time to move. Mm-hmm. Like, movies, when movies come out, but they get announced like, people in the industry know a movie's coming out like a year and a half in advance.
Right.
The day it comes out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of jockeying for position in that industry. Mm-hmm. Like something gets announced and it's like, Transformers 6 or something, so a different movie will move. They'll come out a week earlier. And there's all this like jockeying for spots. But these people don't know that something's coming out, so that's why you get these sync-ups. They come out at the same time.
And Hawks mentioned something, good luck getting a manufacturing quote from China during the Chinese New Year. That's definitely true.
Yes,
that's why you'll see, that's probably why there was a lower thing in March.
Right.
Because as you get to the end of the Kickstarter, end of Kickstarter prep, right before you launch, you're checking this and this and this and this, and if you haven't got anything, Chinese New Year can slow production down by a month from stuff that's coming from China.
Right.
I don't like backing before convention season. I like to see what's releasing during convention season. That definitely helps.
Sense. Yeah. So after Gen Con, for example, might be an uptick. That's another thing. You went to Gen Con and you came back with less than you thought you might. Not a whole lot of things there caught your eye. So what do? You go home, maybe back a couple of things on Kickstarter. Just sate your appetite a little bit for that stuff. Maybe that's a reason to do it during that time. And so maybe it's not a great idea to do it a month before Gen Con. You maybe don't want to launch.
I think think maybe it's driven a little bit more by the convention schedule than we might want to warrant it, because not only what you're talking about, but they also want to try to sell their game at those conventions as well. So they want to get their Kickstarters funded and then have enough to take to Gen Con. Origins.
Like have the delivery window be right around when a game, when a big convention's happening. Yeah. And that's a juggling act, because they are trying to get them delivered and satisfy that core group of people so that they can sell them without that issue of like, well, it's in the mail to you, but we have them here. Yes, you know, that's always a little tricky, and it's a hard thing for these companies to nail down. That's just a fact of life, and they can't control every aspect. A lot of it is not in their hands, you know.
Well, anyway, if you're watching this after the fact, tell us in the comments what you think. When is your season? Is it Christmas, convention? We'll find out. You know, if I get a chance, maybe I'll do like an informal survey when I talk to people, like, how do you pick when to launch? Maybe they won't tell me. They'll be like, none of your business.
Right.
Or maybe it's when we need money.
Or maybe, you know, maybe a good time to launch is in the lulls of normally released games.
That's true.
Right? Because then people are going to the store, their local game store, and they don't see a whole lot of new things there. Where do you go? Kickstarter.
That's true. Alrighty, well, let's listen to Jamie and see what he thinks.
This is Jamie with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about the aftermath of your Kickstarter project. By this I mean the hours and days that immediately follow your project ending. One thing that I really tried to keep in mind during my project, sometimes successfully, sometimes not, was that during my project I have a specific job every day. I am running a Kickstarter project. I'm interacting with a ton of people who are either coming to me or I'm coming to them with information. I'm getting a constant influx of funding, which feels good when pledges are coming in. And then it just stops. When the campaign ends, it just stops. And so one thing I've tried to realize is that self-care is really, really important at that point, because you're going from one emotional, intellectual state to one very different emotional, intellectual state. So a few of the things I recommend for that are relax a little. Like one tangible thing you can do here is the day after your Kickstarter campaign, instead of jumping out of bed to check your phone or your computer, just lay in bed for a few extra minutes. Just relax in bed. Just get used to that idea that you don't have that urgency anymore. Celebrate a little bit. That's one thing that I never really did with my campaigns, and I wish I had. I wish I had gone out to dinner or done something special to celebrate the occasion. Instead, I just went right back to work, and so it was hard to delineate between the two. Well, I really should have. And finally, of course, you do have to get back to work. I think sometimes people who run campaigns can take a full-on vacation afterward, and that also isn't a good idea because there are a lot of things to do right after the campaign. One of those things is to be available for questions right after the campaign. You'll get a lot of messages from existing and potential backers, or people who wish they had been backers, asking, can they change their pledge? Can they cancel their pledge? Can they still get in on a pledge? Your answers will vary from mine or other creators, but make sure you have answers ready and be available to answer those questions. Kickstarter has this awesome spotlight feature, which means that you can change the project image and you can change this link right at the top of the page. It's the link that used to be, during the Kickstarter campaign, it's the pledge link, make a pledge, but you can change that to say anything you want, and you can change where that link directs to. That's a great way to help people who discover your project too late. Just click that button and go through to wherever you're letting people pre-order the game or the product after the campaign is over. Last, one of the big mistakes that sometimes people make is they quit their day job. Suddenly they have $200,000 in their bank account and they think, okay, that money is mine that I can use to run my life for the next year or so until I deliver this project. That's a huge mistake because it is very common for manufacturing costs to balloon beyond your original budget and for shipping costs to go beyond your original budget. So I highly recommend keeping your day job until you have completely made and shipped and fulfilled your Kickstarter campaign. After that, if you still have a lot of money left over and you have some nice income revenue streams happening, maybe through retail, maybe through other things, that may be a time to start to think about it. But as tempting as it can be to do that right after the campaign ends, I highly recommend not doing that. If you have any other thoughts about things to do right after your campaign ends, I'd love to hear about it on my Kickstarter Lessons blog or in the comments below. Thanks.
And that's it for another Crowd Surfing. Thank you to everyone for joining us.
Very cool.
Lots of things. We'll see if you go back any of these. You know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see which ones. There's a lot of good ones out there, I thought.
There's a lot going on right now.
Don't waste your time with any of the other ones. Just go back Tsukiyumi.
Sam wants those plastic pieces.
That's one man's opinion. Oh, he wants to hit that stretch.
Oh, it's only 30,000 away. Alrighty. Oh, wait. 20. Still 30,000. All right.
We are not doing this.
Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zeke Garcia. Have a good one.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care.